Hello and a very warm welcome to my channel. This morning, we give you a piece of breaking news. Hero Royal, Princess Anne will be the first royal to return to work in person. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew confessed that he's a royal disgrace. Today, according to sources, Princess Anne will be the first royal to return to working in person with an engagement scheduled for next week to visit the Duke of Gloucester barracks. A tweet shared by Gertz Royals outlined how the Princess Royal is set to meet with COVID-19 staff at the barracks in South Cerney, Gloucestershire on the 16th of June. If the engagement goes ahead, it will mark the first time that a member of the British royal family has had an in-person appearance since the start of the pandemic in March. And the news may come as a surprise to some because the 69-year-old would be more at risk to the coronavirus than younger members of the royal family such as the Cambridges or the Wessexes. As well as an engagement next week at the Royal Barracks in her role as Colonel-in-Chief, the Princess Royal also has other appearances in the diary. The 69-year-old is also set to visit Scarborough and Rydale Carers, of which she is the president, to mark the organisation's 25th anniversary on the 30th of June. And she will go on to visit Dovecote Park in Pontefract as part of her role as president of the City and Guilds of London Institute. There aren't currently any engagements in the diary for other senior members of the royal family. A viewer comment about the princess: Anne is my favorite royal apart from the Queen. She works hard, doesn't court the media, not constantly moaning about how hard done by she is. She gets in with it in the background. In 2001 she came to open our new truck plant at ERF Trucks in Middlewich. She was really nice, down to earth, and spoke without notes for several minutes. She knew her stuff and she was so professional, a really nice lady. We continue to talk about Princess Anne in the later of my video. Meanwhile, now, we give you a piece of breaking news from Star magazine. Prince Andrew confessed he was a royal disgrace. Just when it seemed like it couldn't get worse for Prince Andrew, it has. In the new Netflix documentary Jeffrey Epstein, Filthy Rich, Virginia Roberts Giuffre, who told the BBC in 2019 that she was forced to have sex with the Duke of York 3 times in the early 2000s, when she was just 17, reveals more shocking details of Andrew's alleged vile and criminal behavior. A former Epstein employee also corroborates her story in the scathing 4-part series, claiming to have seen Andrew, a longtime Epstein pal, grinding against Virginia on Epstein's private Caribbean island. She was young, says Steve Scully, a former IT person on Epstein's island. She didn't have any top on. Andrews denied the accusations in the past and has been putting on a brave face in public. But sources exclusively tell Star that the 60-year-old royal is secretly despairing over his ruined reputation and the seemingly irreparable damage he's done to the monarchy. Behind closed doors, Andrew's falling apart, says an insider, adding that he's telling friends he's in a dark place over the horrible things he's done. He hoped the Epstein story would die down and people would move on, the insider says. But it's only getting worse, and he says his life has become hell. It's been a dramatic fall from grace. In November 2019, Andrew filmed a disastrous BBC interview about his ongoing friendship with convicted sex offender Epstein, who committed suicide in a New York City jail cell last August, in which he also emphatically denied having had sex with an underage Virginia and said he had no recollection of meeting her. He was widely panned for appearing arrogant and unremorseful in the interview and was quickly relieved of his royal duties by his mother, Queen Elizabeth II. This isn't his first brush with scandal. The father of 2, he shares daughters Beatrice, 31, and Eugenie, 30, with ex-wife Sarah Fergie Ferguson, was nicknamed Randy Andy by the UK press due to his penchant for partying, and was later dubbed Air Miles Andy for reportedly using his royal salary to pay for flights around the world, often mixing business with pleasure. He's also come under fire for hobnobbing with questionable characters like Saif al-Islam, the son of Libyan dictator Muammar Gaddafi. But the current accusations may be too much for even Andrew to bounce back from. In Filthy Rich, Virginia tells how he joked about his daughters being close to her own age right before she was sexually abused by him for the first time. And she reveals why she came forward about the high-profile royal. Someone had to put their hand up and say he can't just get away with this. Many family members have already shut Andrew out. Though the Queen is standing by her son, Prince Harry, and a disgusted Meghan Markle are avoiding him completely, says the insider. And Prince Charles and Prince William have accused Andrew of bringing shame upon the family, the insider adds, while Kate Middleton secretly despises him. At this point, Andrew's main ally is another royal black sheep, Fergie. "He's the best man I know," she said in December. The friendly exes, who divorced in 1996, still live together, and the insider says Fergie supports Andrew and is helping him stay strong. The Duchess, who was busted by a TV crew in 2010 for trying to sell access to her ex for $700,000, may be one of the few people who know the real truth about Andrew. "She's been the driving force behind his decision-making lately," says the insider, "but it's more like the blind leading the blind, because neither of them knows how to handle something this catastrophic." Andrew's desperately trying to figure out his next move. The insider says he's broke, now that he no longer has access to royal perks or taxpayer money. He's reportedly hired a $1,300 an hour attorney, which could end up running him millions in legal fees. And he's told friends he's worried he may be facing time behind bars. "People are crawling out of the woodwork, pointing fingers at him," says the insider. He's also having sleepless nights over what else will be exposed, or even worse, if he'll have to go from the palace to prison. "Those close to him don't think he could survive incarceration. I certainly can't imagine him fitting in with murderers and other criminals," says the insider. It would be his biggest nightmare. Andrew is, however, finally cooperating with the FBI, which is still investigating Epstein's sex trafficking ring. To be honest, he felt forced to speak to them, the insider reveals, but added that the prince is terrified he'll get himself into even more trouble if they take something he tells them out of context, or he says the wrong thing without thinking, just as he did in his BBC interview. Ultimately, he may have no choice but to confess everything. According to Filthy Rich, Epstein had cameras everywhere, and filmed everything that went on in his mansions, likely for blackmail purposes. The Queen believes Andrew's side of the story, says the insider. And during a heart-to-heart, she told him that if he's got nothing to hide, there's no reason for him not to talk to them. As I said in the early of my video, we continue with Princess Anne, the Princess Royal, who will celebrate her 70th birthday in August, was one of the last royals to have public engagement, attending the National Convention at Addington Equestrian Centre on the 16th of March. The last members of the firm to attend a visit in person were the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who met with NHS call centre staff days later on the 20th of March. The younger households, including that of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge and the Earl and Countess of Wessex, have been reportedly looking at how physical engagements can be done in the future but are yet to schedule anything officially in the diary. The British royals have stayed in touch with fans through social media, with the Cambridges sharing a new photo of Prince William sheltering Prince George, 6, and Princess Charlotte, 5, under an umbrella to mark Volunteers Week in the UK on Sunday. William and Kate have embraced the role of at-home teachers for their two eldest children during the lockdown, and with Gavin Williamson announcing the government has scrapped its target of getting all primary school pupils back in the classroom before the summer holidays, it's likely they'll be continuing until next month. Last month it was reported that the Queen may remain in self-isolation for months and never return to regular frontline royal duties. Her Majesty, who has put all her public engagements on hold as she resides with her husband Prince Philip at Windsor Castle, may not be allowed to return to her public duties due to the risk of catching COVID-19 for years to come. Royal biographer Andrew Morton told The Sun that he feared the Queen, whose schedule is not expected to resume until the autumn at the earliest, may never be able to return to her regular duties and will most likely be seen on TV or video links rather than in public. Meanwhile, Prince Charles remains in isolation with the Duchess of Cornwall at his Aberdeenshire home of Birkhall on the Balmoral estate. He contracted coronavirus in March but claims he was lucky to have experienced relatively mild symptoms. Princess Anne is oft regarded as the hardest working royal because of her high number of public appearances and engagements each year. Last year, the Prince of Wales was the busiest member of the family with 521 engagements, just ahead of the ever-active Princess Royal on 506. Analysis conducted by The Telegraph also showed that the Queen's daughter worked 180 days of the year in 2018. In March last year, it was also revealed that she has clocked up 20,000 engagements in 50 years. Her official debut took place 50 years ago, on March 1, 1969, St. David's Day, when she handed out leeks to the Welsh Guards at Purbright Camp in Surrey. Good for Anne, she may be 70 in August, but she still carries out far more duties and charity visits than most of the younger royals put together, and she does it with grace, charm, style and humor. Such a wonderful woman. But then I am a little biased. Do you agree with me? Please let me know in the comment section and we talk about Princess Anne. If you loved my video, remember to like and share it for anyone you think they need it. Don't forget to subscribe to version 2 of the Sussex Daily News channel to get more news from the royal family. Now, thank you for watching, have a nice day and see you in the next videos.